Welcome in, everybody. Happy Sunday. Trump executive order that was implemented. What I'm seeing, what's going on around the states. A lot of misleading information, a lot of talk on social media, lots of incorrect information. Hello, Lemon J. Hello, ABC123. Happy Sunday. Ozzy Crosby, how are you? And welcome in. I hope everybody's doing well. Just a little live today. I was going to do a live today, but I contacted some of my people that I work with homelessness, and they're saying, Sal, talk a little bit about the homeless, what's going on, particularly because, I'm boots on ground, at least in Las Vegas. And there's a lot of leading information. And I'm not going to knock any YouTube channel. There's some great ones out there. Part of it is they don't know. Part of it, they do know, but they're just Democrats. Part of it, they know they're Republicans. It's a lot of misinformation. And a lot of people are confused. In fact, Donald Trump is not confused, but I'm going to tell you what he's handling correctly. A lot is good and incorrectly. We're going to get into this on this topic, guys. You guys subscribe to me because I keep it real. I'm a Trump supporter. I believe I always will, except for a couple things I mentioned yesterday. I'm going to talk about, I say this all the time. I think Ozzy would agree. My wife would agree. My uncle would agree. We should be able to call out our president, but he is at least trying. And that's more than in our lifetime, because homelessness has been around for many, many years, and they are human. And I'm going to talk about what is being done here in Las Vegas. I can't speak for other states, but what I see. And if you want, I just wasn't today up and ready in the mood for it. But if you want, yes or no, or one or two in the chat, if you want me to do a live on showing you what I see, fences are put up since they implemented the homeless executive order. So let me know, because I can show you. This is no fake stuff, no AI. There's fences up. And before you say, oh my God, that's horrible. What the hell's going on? Kathy, thank you so much. Appreciate that. The clapping seal. Thank you so much in helping the homeless. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. So anyhow, that was really nice, Kathy. Thank you so much for all your support. Yes. You got a lot of different channels out there, and who am I to tell you how to run it? Everybody should run their station like they want. I'm not afraid to call anybody out. I'm going to call our state and local government out on this, and a little bit of Trump. But again, Trump is trying. Now, here's what's going on. In the executive order, they are not going to arrest any homeless people. I don't care what the trolls, what the Democrats, what the Republicans, what my Uncle Joey says. They are not going to arrest you unless there's a crime. Speaking of crime, this is why Trump wants to give homeless a lift, not clean it up. I don't like that word, cleaning it up. Doesn't that sound horrible? But giving them a lift, giving them an opportunity. They will be arrested if they do a crime, or after a couple attempts to get off the street, they'll be arrested with a misdemeanor as long as they don't have anything serious, and then, held overnight. I'm not going to sit here and say I agree or disagree. I don't know the solution. I'm not the governor. I'm not the president. I'm just a small YouTube guy. But that's what they arrest. They're not going to arrest you if you live in a van. They're not going to arrest you if you go in a campground. You guys see my camping videos? I know there's people up there who are paying for a spot for 2 weeks. They're paying a full price of $24, whatever. And then they move. And they're just people out there probably just getting by. We're going to talk about that, guys, on the age of 55 and older. Because a lot of people, let me just tell you this. I'm going to talk about the executive order. There's people out there that are, and they're saying the majority of homeless people are African Americans. Incorrect. Well, the majority of people are Latinos. Incorrect. The majority of people are Caucasians. Incorrect. Gay. Incorrect. All types of people. We know by researchers, forget the research. I know with my two eyes, I would say 70% is to do with a mental illness, period. Mental illness. And I'm not saying they're out there and they're bad. They're just suffering from mental illness. It can happen to anybody. People are born with this. It's a shame. It really is. Now, there's another portion here in Las Vegas who like to gamble. And they find themselves smart just because there's high IQs, smarter than me out there, and they lost everything. And then you have the, a little bit of people just can't afford it. And that's another thing we're going to talk about, because housing prices are out of control. My son, he doesn't mind me saying this, credit score 760, cannot get a house because you have to make over $100,000 a year. Well, that's a little too much. And I'm not blaming this on Trump. I'm blaming this on the greediness. People have gotten greedy. The criteria are a lot harder. Now, I'm not saying to make it like we had a housing crisis, you put anybody in a house. That's another part of it, guys. People just can't get into a house. Now, if my kids didn't have me, I don't know where they'd be. I mean, they're strong. They'd probably be in a low-budget apartment. But there's people out there, we're all different. So we have that. Now, what Trump's trying to do, before I go any farther, read some comments here. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you guys being here. It's upsetting for me and Maribel because I'm down the middle with this. I'm actually, look, something has to be done. If Trump did not do an executive order on homelessness, it's going to continue. Yes or no? Yes or no? If Trump doesn't do an executive order, it's going to continue to get worse. Yes or no? I don't know. I'll wait for that. Let me ask you guys this. If you're in California, you're in Las Vegas, you're in Oregon, you have your family, your kids, your grandkids, you're walking around San Francisco and you see needles and you see all this stuff, your heart goes to the homeless, but you don't want to have your kids, your next generation, or yourself stepping on this. You don't want to expose that. They are so many people. I just went over the couple of reasons. So we can't have this on the streets anymore. But Trump is trying to implement camps or research. The problem with Trump did wrong. See, guys, you're not going to hear this anywhere else because I think people get caught on voting for Trump. I support Trump. Again, he's trying, but not everything's perfect. For an example, I think they should have a separate fund for the homeless and don't let the states handle it. Once you send the money to the states, whether they're run by a Democrat or Republican, what happens? Some of it goes in their pocket. And some of it doesn't go in their pocket, and they do other researches. And it doesn't help out the homeless. So here's what Trump did wrong. For me, and I've contacted Trump and his team, yes. And I say, if I can think of this, I'm just a regular personal trainer who fights for homelessness. Why can't he? I like the funding of our hardworking money. I would love my money. Some of it, we have to pay taxes. How about that money go into a fund, not FEMA, and support local camps in the big states that are suffering from homeless? Yes or no? Like Oregon, San Francisco, Pennsylvania, Las Vegas, Chicago, a lot of states, right, who are suffering. And have that money go into the researchers. I know for a fact that doctors would do voluntarily once or twice a week that are retired. I would do it for nothing. And then there's more people, not just me. I'm nothing. There's more people who are doing it for nothing and help out. I can do it once a week, a couple hours, and help out and give our researchers. I'm not a doctor, but I'm, talk to them, and they're just doctors, and you can get psychiatrists. This is what needs to be done. Here's the problem. Our Governor Lombardo, the money, they did put up the fences. They did that. They did their homework. But what they didn't do, they didn't build the camp. So now you're taking the homeless people, are you with me, off the street, filling in the nonprofits. They're filled up. Where are they going to go? They're not built. So there you go. Trump was driving a Lamborghini again. So for me, I know he's smart. I know, much smarter than me. Why didn't that get built? Why didn't they build it? Now in California, Trump used some of the FEMA money and he went right to UCLA because they were going to build a baseball stadium. And he says, no, we're going to build it for the veterans. God bless. But in Vegas, it was forgotten. And other states. So what we need to do is have money, maybe our taxpayer money, maybe the money that goes to other countries. I know Trump stopped a lot of it. And maybe do a research because, ladies and gentlemen, these are our people. This could be our kids. This could be your neighbor. This could be us at any time. So we need to have the facilities built first and then do the executive order. I like the executive order, A plus, but I'm going to give it a D minus because there's nowhere to put these people. I'm not calling Trump out. I'm just calling out, I don't know. Maybe the government knew about it. Maybe Trump has given them, hey, a year in advance. Hey, we're going to be starting this homelessness camps, offices, buildings. But maybe our governor sat on his ass. Maybe he sat on his ass. I'm a liberal. Buy yourself a new grill. Thank you for the donation for the homeless. But this is where we're at. This is where we're at with the executive order. And it broke a couple weeks ago. And there's a lot of YouTubes and Facebooks and people talking about a lot of misleading information. And then there's a lot of people out there just don't know and just talking out of their ass. And then there's people who know what they want to say, but they're Democrats. And then there's people that were Republicans that are not talking the truth. And then there's a lot of people who are talking the truth. I've been up since 7 o'clock looking at different YouTube channels. In suits, men, blacks, whites, Hispanics, talking about it. They're not wrong, but they're not right either. They're putting their political behind their back. I don't do that. Do you guys see me do that? See, they're putting their political behind their back, and that's what I don't like. Let's go, Brandon. Thank you for the donation. Corbin, appreciate it. Corban, thank you. Appreciate that. That goes right into the homeless. Thank you. Appreciate the donations today. 100%, whether you believe it or not, goes right to the homeless. So if you don't believe it, I don't care. I got plenty of videos. That's what we're going to continue to do. But to said that, much more needs to do, because what we're doing, me and Maribel and you guys on here with your supports and other YouTubes and churches, what we're doing is great, but it's not good enough. We need what Trump is doing, but that's not good enough. We need the state and local officials to do their part. Gosh darn it, they need to do their part. But I got to tell you guys, I am calling them out every day. I'm doing everything I could. And Maribel says, be careful. You got to be careful with that Italian temper. They're going to come after you. What are they going to come after me with? Let them come after me. They need to be held responsible. I don't care. Our governor's Republican. He's Italian. I voted for him. He's doing a lot of stuff. He's doing good. But damn it, I'm going to call him out. I'm going to call him out. I want stuff, our taxpaying money go to the homeless people. Appreciate the donations. I don't know what you guys are saying. You're getting your point across, but if you're donating, it goes to the homeless. All right, ladies and gentlemen, like the cup holder? Isn't that pretty cool? Ladies and gentlemen, I am a Trump supporter. He's doing more than a lot of presidents, but I think he handled this, for me, what I know. He went a little too quick. I think he should have had more communication with local government. Now, another part of it is, though, I just said it, and I hate to contradict, but maybe he did contact our governor. Maybe he did contact Gavin Newsom, California governor. I said Gavin Newsom, right? Okay. Mike, I got to make sure. And maybe he did contact Chicago, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is way out of control. And by the way, if you're homeless and you're coming on here, because they have cell phones, they deserve cell phones. If you are homeless, let us know. I tell you what, reach deep down inside. Only you can make a change. You can make that change, and you can do better. But they also got to make it easier. There's no reason why Las Vegas rent is $2,000 a month. Am I right or am I wrong? Why are people paying more rent than they are for housing, for a mortgage? That's not right. I'm all for landlords making a buck or two. Everybody needs to make some money, hard workers, right? I'm all for that. I'm a conservative. But my goodness, you go from $700 a month from 2 years ago to almost, $1,200 a month to $2,000? Yeah, you can get a place for $1,200, but it's out of, let's just say $1,200 on the low side. So you get an apartment for $1,200. Say, now you get Social Security, you're 55. A male, you lost your wife. You lost your partner. You're by yourself. Your kids, you don't want to bother. You get Social Security about 1,200. Maybe you get 13. You're working minimum wage. You could afford your apartment. You could afford maybe your electric and maybe a phone, because you need a phone these days, right? What do you do for food? You can't get food stamps because you're over the limit, right? What do? You need a car. You got to have car insurance unless it's paid off. And if it's not, you're gambling with your liability. What do you do? So you know what they do? They get a tent and take that money so they can feed themselves. They get a scooter. Some of them are forced to get an electric scooter, and they go back and forth to work. And then all of a sudden, after they work for a year, they get fed up. They get burned out. That's not a mental illness. They get fed up. And they have nothing but their Social Security. And then they have no address. So now they have to fight to utilize and get a loved one's address. Guys, I see it. I'm boots on grounds. So you do have that portion. And then, yes, you have people out there that just are lazy. Young people. And I'm not going to call them out. People are just lazy. And I don't want to get into too much. But what do you do? What do you do about these? Do you just walk by them and not help them out? Gosh darn it, I can't do that. I can't help them. I got to help them out. A lot of people say, well, you're making it worse. Okay, well, you're going to let them die on the street. So there's a big combination, guys, because I see it. Other people see it. You don't see it unless you're out there on the street, walking, approaching with dogs. You know, they have their dogs, you know, and you know, sometimes I am risking my life and Maribel, but a lot of people are. But that's my view on his executive order. He's not going to go to a campsite and take people out of their cars. He's not going to. Trump did not implement the police to do that. They're not going to go into the tent and grab the homeless person and put him into custody and handcuff him. No. There's going to be warnings. That's all false. It's all bullshit. The Democrats feed on this stuff. Okay, they're not doing that. They will arrest you if you do a crime, or if you leave all your stuff out. But there's fences. Now, you hear me say fences. They're not on Las Vegas Boulevard. There's not homeless. There's a few, but they don't have camps. But they're down where you see me do these videos on past Fremont. If you've ever been to Vegas, it's about a mile north from Fremont. And they were on tents up and down the street. Now there's a fence, a green fence. And they're trying to eliminate that. And that's where we are. So where are those people at right now? Well, there's nothing built. So they got some of them into the Salvation Army. They got some into nonprofits, Catholic charities, but they're all filled. So where do they go? Well, they find other spots. So all it is temporary. This is where I think Trump should have said, I say it again, I wish the money would have skipped through the states. You know, just went into a fund so we can track it. Why come I can think of that? And eliminate the governor from getting their hands on it. Liberal governors and Republican governors. I don't trust any of them. Any of them. I don't care who they are. Don't care. Don't care if they're a Tang. Don't care if they're a Republican. Don't care if they're a Democrat. I don't care who the hell they are. I don't care if they're a female. I don't care. If I vote them in, I expect them to do the right thing. But here's the thing. I don't trust them. And I'm not saying they're stealing. I'm saying they're taking that money and cleaning their desk and going over that and putting money into other researches. Some, you think that's what they're doing. But it's not all going to the homeless. Maybe some states and governors, not all of them are, what's the word I'm looking for? Upside down. That's the problem. I wish Trump would have a system that goes right there. And I wish they would use our taxpaying money to do more research and handle this better. What the hell is this? That's what I think, guys. Hold on one second. That's what I think. I'm going to show you something right here. No, that's not what I want. I'm They're all over. And these people have nowhere else to go after these local nonprofits are filled up. They just have nowhere else to go. So Trump is trying to resolve a homelessness problem we've had for many, 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 many years. He is trying his best to help out the homeless. Is it perfect? I just said it's not. But he's trying, because if we ignore it and let it continue on our streets, this is what we're going to have. And we don't want it for our families and stuff like that. Let me just show you here. Thought I have one of Maribel here. Is this Maribel here? Yeah, it's Maribel. There's Maribel there. This was during the Christmas time there. I mean, look how many guys. Look at this. They just so happy to get food. Some of these people that you're reaching here on Social Security. Well, sure they are, Sal. They're lying to you. This, that, whatever. No, I've seen them come out of a no profit. I know where they're coming out of, and they take 30% of their checks, and they're just happy to see some food. But yeah, guys, I wanted to discuss this on this Sunday. I knew a lot of people would be off. I don't have all the answers. I do know that Donald Trump, bless his heart, is at least trying. Because if you just take the homeless and you put them into a nonprofit, or if you take them into a facility without any doctors and psychiatrists and counseling, if you don't have that, in about a week, they're going to be right back onto the street. Not all, but a high percentage. We need to work on our counseling. I just said it. I know I've talked to doctors. A lot of them would do it very, very, probably volunteer, maybe a tax write-off. There's plenty of people out there would do this for zero. I'm not saying every day. We have families to raise. We have grandkids. We have, our lives. But I'd be willing to do it 1 or 2 days a week. I would help out as much as I can. I'm not a physician, so I couldn't help out like that. But I can at least help out in other ways. And I have a voice and ideas and things like that. So everybody has and blessed with something, right? Maybe you're coming across this video right now and you're blessed on ideas, and thoughts on how we can better cope or better help homelessness. And I didn't even get into the veterans, because a lot of people will say, well, the veterans get the veterans pay. They do. And there's no excuse. That's baloney. They fought for this country. They're suffering with mental illness of their kind. That's baloney. Some of them don't even know how to go about, it's not easy for all of us. Now, you might come across this channel now and say, that's baloney. All they need to do is go online, go to Google, set up their veterans pay, get direct deposit. It all sounds easy, right? But not for everybody. You got to understand, they fought for this war. They were in Iraq. They were in wars. They were suffering. They fought for the United States of America, for our freedom. So we can interact on a live. So we can have a beer. So we can have so we can eat and enjoy our families. So we shouldn't give up. I don't like it too much when people say they're getting enough pay. We need to help them. We need to make, and also the greediness. We got to help it. There's no reason why our rent has escalated, and there's no reason why we can't get people in a new home. Even if it's 1,000-foot house, there's no reason the requirements need you to put down 30% down on the house. How about 10%? There's no reason that credit score needs to be about 780. How about 680? Let's make it easier. Come on, guys. No. Let's make it easier. Let's make it a little easier. I'm not talking about just let any person get into a house with no credit, but let's make it somewhat easier for people who can have. There's no reason anybody should be living on the street. None of us. Unless you want to. There's no reason at all. We're meant to have a roof over our head. To have air conditioner or a fan when it's hot in Vegas, 120. To have a heater when it's 10 degrees in Minnesota. To go on to the phone and interact like we do. To get away from to have someone entertainment. to go to the movies once in a while. The American way is not on the streets. And we need to work on this drug addiction. I can't even pronounce some of these drugs out there. And even if I did, I can't say them anyhow on here. It's a damn shame. But Trump, I just wanted to bring everybody up to date. He is trying and researching to at least address some of these states that are suffering from homelessness. So I applaud him for that. Is he handling it the perfect way? In my eyes, no. In some eyes, you might say and disagree with me. That's fine. But I think there's more work that needs to be done. But it's just getting started. I just want to make sure before you go to before you do this, that you have a location for the homeless. That's all I'm trying to say. So right now they're taking them off the streets, and that's good, making sure they're safe and getting them into some nonprofits. But we need something built here. Now there's already something built. If you're coming here, if you're on my channel and you are a local official, you know who I am by now. I'm asking you and telling you nicely. There's a baseball stadium in North Las Vegas that's not being used. They used it for COVID vaccine shots. They're using it for other things. How about get that air conditioner on, get some cots. I will help you. I will help you. Just let me know. And we'll get that open and for at least a year or 2 years. And get these people there. And then get some of these doctors, psychiatrists, nutritionists, and get them to I don't know, volunteer, maybe offer them some water, offer them tax write-offs. I don't have all that. And then maybe that's a start here in Las Vegas. And in California, I'm sure there's old baseball stadiums. There's casinos that are tore down. Local casinos, open that up. I'm sure in Chicago you got, unfortunately, small business that lost it. I know it's sad. How about open that up and get people in there? In Oregon. Now, shout out to Oregon. I hear they got something going on in Oregon. In other states, start off. There's empty buildings. People, get construction out there. They'll do it. They'll do it for some gas money, I'm sure. Maybe some want a little bit of money, so pay them a little bit. Pay some of these people. They're not going to want thousands of dollars. Pay them a little something. And we can help our fellow Americans. All right, I'm going to read some comments. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Sal. If it's your first time here, this is what we do. We cover. I have shorts. If you're new to the channel, let us know you're new if you feel comfortable. Only if you feel comfortable. Let us know what state. Let us know what you see. Subscribe and like. Check out my shorts. We're on every day. I see Epstein. Yes, we cover Epstein yesterday. We're going to cover at least once a week. I see it. I'm not ignoring it. But today we're talking about the homeless. All right. We got 573 in the chat, 82 likes. Thank you so very much. I know Epstein's important. I see it. But so is the homelessness here that's happening. That's what we're talking today. You don't have to like Trump. I see there's people who don't like Trump. That's fine. I don't hold that against you. But I tell you what. We need to do more for our homeless Americans. Reading some comments, looking at some comments. Some make sense. Some don't make sense. I see a lot of Epstein. Pat, how are you? Ed? Jay? Messages are flying in. I'm trying to read as many as I could today. Appreciate you guys today, excuse me. Happy Sunday. Hope you're doing well, you and your family. God bless America. Whether you like him or not, God bless Donald Trump. Because let's face it, we ever seen a president sign an executive order or handle this? And then, of course, once he does that, the Democrats eat him up alive. Instead of just coming on like I just did it, why can't they just come on and do it like I did? Congratulate him for trying. Argue on what could be better. Now, I argued and told you what could be better, right? But the Democrats will not do that. They'll come on, some Democrats, and they'll say, he did this wrong. He's arresting the homeless. He's taking people off. We're losing people, in other words, for YouTube. Instead of saying, Mr. Trump, we appreciate you for trying, but can you handle it this way like I just did? But no. The Democrats will try to crucify him, demolish him. That's what they do. Wrong. Need to work together. Some things you got to work together. And this is one, in my opinion. If there's anything, well, war. Absolutely. But if there's another thing aside from war and closing the borders, I'm sorry, guys. This is for all of us. This is Democrats, Republicans, or whatever out on the street. We need to come together and come up with something. But at least Trump is signing an executive order, right? Other presidents ignored it. And by the way, the last administration, let me get something straight. There was homeless when Trump was president before. Let me get it out there. There was homeless with Bush and Clinton and Barack Obama. But this last committee, it went up 10 times more. So, who do you blame that on? Our committee, our President Biden, Vice President Kamala, Nancy Pelosi, some Republicans. It was run horrible. Now at least we're heading in some direction. Some direction. It's not perfect. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Thank you. Papa P, Trump. Appreciate you guys. If you're new, like and subscribe. Let us know if you're new. We are live every day. Oh, and if you come across, oh, here we go, one of those mega stations. No. I'm a Trump supporter. We have Trump supporters on here. We have mega on here. I don't speak for them. We are a station, or I run this and tell the facts. I will call Trump out on different situations because I call myself out. No, this is a station that is for all. Just so happened, I am for Trump. And I feel that we're on the right track on most of the issues. Has he made errors and fumbles? Yes. But the other presidents have made interceptions after interceptions, if you follow football, and interceptions over and over and over, and really forgot about Americans. For exception of Reagan, Clinton, in our modern history, and maybe one or two I might be missing. But majority of them don't care. All they care about is making money. And then our new party, these new people like AOC, Cory Booker, and all these other younger Democrats, they have no idea what's going on. Do you think they know what's going on with homeless? Do you actually think they take their they'll go with their dress or their suits and ties out there and see what's going on in homeless in Vegas and California and Oregon and Kensington and everywhere? No! They don't see. They're just set one way. They don't care about any of us. Matter of fact, I'll go a little farther. They don't care about Democrats. The old Democrats, presidents, you can say, well, they did care a little bit, right? They did care a little bit. And that goes to the Republican presidents. You think Bush? And I voted for him. Better than what the hell we're seeing in the last administration. But he was another one. So, the list continues. I think Trump is changing everything for future Republican presidents. You ready for this? I said he says, and future Democrats. I'm not talking about the new young ones. He's saving democracy. We will look back and see a Democrat president in our future. Again, it's going to happen, guys. You say, wow, not bad. Not bad. You're going to argue. We're going to argue the issues. Oh, right. Not bad. I see it. I might be about 90 years old if I make it. No, seriously. And we're going to see future Republicans, nothing like Trump. Maybe better than Trump. I don't know. I say, wow, Trump did that. Maybe they'll be better than Trump in a way. And say, whoa. But that's all because of Trump. Trump is saving our ass. But I just said he's not perfect. But who is perfect? Think about it. Who the hell is perfect? But I like this executive order. The executive order is not taking people away from camping sites. Yeah, I heard one YouTuber say, they're going to come to my campsite because I'm in a tent and take me away. What the hell are you drinking? Oh, I'm in my car. I've been living in my car in my father-in-law's backyard. They're going to come knock on the door and arrest me. What are you drinking? Yeah. Oh, I'm on the street. They put me in handcuffs, took my tent, and locked me up, and put me behind bars for 4 years. What are you drinking? No, it's not true. Not true. Not at all. That is what's going on. These are pretty much accurate. ICE can arrest anyone, somebody put on there. Not true. Jim Rat, what's going on? So there's a lot of misleading information. Just got bit. A lot of misleading information. And there's just people out there who are going to talk about anything. And then you got the other part where, you know, they hate Trump. They just don't like Trump, so they're going to make up as much as they can. And once again, I'm Sal, your host today. Appreciate you guys being here. If it's your first time here and you've seen the title, Homeless, we pretty much do that every day. Who are we? A lot of my subscribers and loyal subscribers, me, my wife, and my daughter, we're out there helping, and clients and friends every single day, almost every single day. We're on the streets, plenty of short videos showing how the hunger, and these people are just waiting for, first of all, they're waiting for a human to approach them and talk to them. Some don't want to be bothered, but majority of them do. And they want a conversation, they like a coffee, they want a water in reverse order. It's heat right now. Some food, even if it's McDonald's. But we're making them homemade food times. When we're able to do it, we give them some homemade Puerto Rican food, homemade Italian food, sandwiches, and I was going to say treating them. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry, I needed a water. Now, I just wanted to make a couple announcements real quick, if I could. Thank you, moderators, once again. It's not unnoticed. Janine, Lemon J's in here. I don't know if Crystal was here. Mike M, thank you for being here, and thank you for what you guys do and make this station where it's at and help out in your ways. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I talked about it with a moderator earlier without mentioning names. We discussed this for a little bit. Thank you for the donation. Thank you. Run until dawn. Bro, it's great to be mega, but what about promises? Appreciate that donations. Well, I will say to that comment, and thank you for the donation. Look, I just said it. If you're just coming in, maybe I'll say it again. Trump is trying. You know, I'm not saying everything he does is in order, but think about the things MAGA has done, right? Close the border, fantastic. Everybody agrees on that, right? Getting rid of the nukes in Iran, making it safer. He's done a lot. I mean, we groceries are still high. I know a lot of MAGA say it's down. So, you know, we got some work to, but that also has to do with where we've been at in the last 4 years. These tariff tax, you know, I'm kind of in the middle with it. I'm really optimistic that long term it's going to help. But he's just making it common sense. He's doing things like it should be, like most of us would probably do. Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, a lot of us would handle the things that Trump is doing. And in this big, beautiful bill, is going to do a lot for people who are making tips. I mean, he ran a campaign on what? No tax on tips or overtime. And that's in the bill. And he's helping out seniors. And yes, it's adding to the deficit. I've talked about that many times, but I don't know what else we can do to try to get this country back. This country in the last administration committee, I don't know how it's being run. Imagine this, guys. They were using an auto pen. They were using people like Elizabeth Warren. She ran this country for a week, got rid of her. Brought in Joe Biden. She ran it for 2 days, got rid of her. Got Nancy Pelosi, got rid of that old lady, right? Had Pete Buttigieg, get rid of him. Everybody was getting their hands on it. I wouldn't be surprised they handed the torch to a Republican. We didn't know who was running it. Kamala Harris had no idea, right? Do you want that? Or do you want what Trump? That's made a couple bumps, made a couple fumbles. Do you want what we just had? Open borders on top of the homeless? All the people on the street, now you got migrants and people from other countries. And by the way, I help them out too. Well, wait a minute. You just said you're against it. What do? You let people just die? Oh, so I help them out. So anyhow, you get my point. I'm losing track. You get people from over here on top of the American homeless. So, you want what we just had that was controlled, shut down from a pandemic that was very bad? Or do you want an economy that is getting better? Eggs are down. I just talked about what we need to do with mortgage. I get it. That's not done yet. Next week or the week after, we're coming real close with Putin and Trump meeting in Alaska, my word, and he's going to end that war for 3 years with Ukraine and Russia. Peace deals all over, safer. Other presidents and prime ministers like Trump. Trump's not in love with Netanyahu. Israel. You think Trump likes him? No, but he knows how to play the game. You keep your friends close, your enemies even closer. You hear me say that over and over. He doesn't care about him, but he knew that we had to keep him kind of in our pocket. And I think he's a part of Netanyahu and Putin. Trust me, Trump knows how to do this stuff. He's blessed and smart and business-oriented. Again, he's not perfect, Trump. Anybody says he's perfect but he's a lot better than what we just had. I think about this all the time. Do you go back from the old system with a newer, younger AOC and Gavin Newsom? Imagine her as president and Gavin Newsom as vice president, or Cory Booker as president and AOC as vice president. I'll even go a little farther. Josh Shapiro or Cooper, the astronaut from Arizona, or any of those people. You imagine? Or Pete Buttigieg. He couldn't even handle his position. You imagine? I can't think of one Democrat right now that could do things. I was going to say do things better than Trump. I will go like this. I'll go farther. I don't think there's any Democrat can do better than any former Republican president. There's some shitty ones, like Bush. I'm serious. I'm speaking the truth. I don't know if there's anybody out there can do anything better than. I don't see it. Do you guys see it? Am I missing anybody? What Democrat out there you think that we know of? There could be somebody that we don't know that can do some. The only person, and I don't think you'll see him as president, who's talked a little sense, and I'm not even a big fan of him, is Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith. I'm not saying vote for him, but at least I like how he listens to Trump, call Trump out on certain things, applaud him on some things. He has some ideas which can work. I don't know if he's fit for president, but he's about the only one I would say, Stephen A. Smith. I don't know who else. I'm thinking on this line, who else is out there? Matter of fact, there's not too many Republicans I trust. Except for Marco Rubio and maybe J.D. Vance. I still need to see more from him. I know a lot of you are going to slap me. It's just my opinion. I like J.D. Vance. Don't read between me. I'm just saying I need to see more. But yeah, I don't even know too many Republicans that I could even trust right now. Not too many. Kathy, I mean, Gabbard, I mean, there's a few of them. So that's where we're at. Yeah, I can't think of one Democrat out there that makes that much sense. Not one. Can you? There's not one. Not one. None of them. They're all full shit. They hate Trump because they're like, why didn't we think of that? They hate Trump because they know he knows a lot of shit what's going on in this world. They hate him. And a lot of people, my Republican friends, including myself, will say, well, why didn't he bury Hillary, Trump? Why didn't he tear her apart with the Russia? You know why? I'll tell you why. Because Trump has a heart. And he didn't want to demolish the Clinton. Because he liked Bill Clinton. I think he should have. I was talking to somebody earlier without exposing him. I think he should have demolished her. But he likes Bill Clinton. I don't know if he still likes him. But he liked Bill Clinton. Let's be honest. I mean, he didn't agree on his issues, but he liked Bill Clinton on how his effort. Because Bill Clinton he tried too. You know, he had a perfect storm as far as, you know, Republicans and Democrats. I get it. He was handed a good deck of cards to Bill Clinton, but he controlled, money was being exchanged, you know. I don't think he wanted to demolish him. I would have. I can't think of a Democrat that can fix what we have right now. Maybe in 8 years from now, 12 years from now, 16 years from now. I see a lot of Epstein on here. If you're new, I had a live yesterday on Epstein. I have about at least 8 lives on Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell and Trump and Clinton and the cover up. So I'm not going to talk about it today. It's on there. It's out there. You know, you can skip through some of the stuff. You can watch it, be entertained. But a lot of people are just putting Epstein in because they want to put it in. There's some on here that care about it, the children, I'm sure. But a lot of people are just putting it in because they don't like Trump. And some are putting it in because they like Trump, but they want answers like I do. So there's a combination of the Epstein on here. All right, I'll read some comments, guys, here. Thank you, Ice. Great work. Yeah, you know, that's a good comment. Thank you for that comment. You know, we should give credit to ICE. They're doing their job. That's a good comment. Thank God. Keep them safe. You imagine? You're going to be safe doing that kind of stuff. They get a bad name, ICE. They think that they're doing their job. They're taking these drug cartels and these people came here, and some of them are very bad people, and getting them back to their countries. We have enough aggravation here. ICE is great. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, and there's could be one bad apple, 1%. There's 1% bad, all kinds of professions, doctors and trainers and, you know, police. But, yeah, God bless ICE. Think about it. If we didn't have ICE operating like it's operating now, what would happen? Think about it. What would happen right now? Yeah, they take over. We'd have more violence on top of violence that we have in our own kind, right? We have our own violence among, here we go again, mental illness. Now you have ICE piggybacking on that. Or ICE, excuse me. Sorry, other illegals coming here. And if we don't get ICE in control and send them back to their countries, he's drunk. That's too early. Welcome in, John. Who's mega in here? We have who's behind Trump still? Who is thinking that Trump is our best solution right now than he was when we voted for him? There's our mega. There's Jim Rat. Where's our mega? There's Catwalk. There we go. Yep. Because there's people who are putting in there MAGA are saying, my goodness, yes, I'm going to say this on myself. Yeah, everything I just said. He's fumbled the ball a little bit on Epstein. He hasn't been 100% perfect. This executive order, I do believe it's good, but it's not all sorted out. The big, beautiful bill is 90% pretty good. There's some bumps in it. But at the end of the day, it's not perfect. But it's a hell of a lot hell of a lot better than the previous administration. They were signing executive orders that weren't for us. They were making up bills that Joe Manchin blocked that wasn't for the American people. Build Back Better. Do you guys understand something? I even argued about big, beautiful bill. Remember? I said I didn't like it, some of the stuff. But shit, at least there's some money for us. It might not be for you or me, but at least it's for America. Is it adding to the deficit? Yeah, but at least we know some of it's here and protecting our walls and giving money to seniors and kids and electric vehicles and gas vehicles and schools and not money to Disneyland in other countries. How about helping out Disneyland here? You know, I'm just telling you. This bill's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than Clinton's, Bush, previous administration, Barack Obama. Horrible president. So I'd rather take a president that jabs. Whoops, he got hit a few times. Jabs. He got hit once. Then get knocked out every day. I'll take Trump. Yes, he dropped the F word. I didn't mind it. I understand where women don't like it. I get it. It's probably not the best thing to say. You know, yes, he says some ridiculous things on some reporters. But at the end of the day, him or previous? Trump, who's like one of us, not perfect, but fighting for America, helping out the homeless, giving some thoughts, or previous? You tell me. You tell me. I think I'll take Trump. I think I'll take Trump and call him out on a few things than a previous administration where you're calling out over and over. Do you want an F or a B plus? Trump was getting an A before. I give him a B plus because I speak the truth. I'd rather have the B plus pushing an A than an F, in my opinion. I'll take the B plus over an F. Again, for all the Epsteins I'm seeing on here, I have videos after videos. Just go back and watch them. I talk about the cover-up on both sides. That's all I will say. Cover-up on both sides. You have to watch it. You don't have to do anything, but if you're putting it in here, go back and watch yesterday's. We're not going to know the whole truth. Look, I was going to do this. I'll say it one time. We're not going to know what we want to know on the Epstein. You're not going to hear that Trump's on there or Trump did something. You're not going to hear that Bill Clinton did it. It's not going to happen. Okay? You're not going to hear it. So, what you might hear is some names of, I know a lot of these want to hear it, of a certain Republican, a certain Democrat that got involved. Maybe. You might hear that. You might hear a favorite entertainer involved. You might get that. But that's all you're going to get. Okay? So we have 113 likes. Wow. I appreciate. Hey, I really want to say before we end this, thank you so much for sharing these videos, these lives, particularly the shorts of the homeless, what we're talking about today. Thank you so much for all your support and coming on these lives and helping out this station. I greatly appreciate on behalf of me and my wife, our moderators, our new subscribers, our older subscribers, our loyal subscribers, all subscribers. If we didn't have that, then we wouldn't be where we're at. So I thank you so much. Make sure you help out and support other YouTube channels when you can. If you like their content, hit them a like once in a while and share their content as well. This way we can continue the YouTube platform for those who work hard on it, so we can get some of the information. You might not agree with what I just said, and that's fine. You don't have to. But at least you're getting a little bit of perspective on what, because I am pretty much boots on ground. I'm there every day with these homeless. So you're getting, and I'm not even 100%, but I've given you about 90% what's really happening. It upsets me when they say they're arresting people. They're not. They're not arresting people. Well, they are. They're arresting homeless that do crimes. You don't want that, right? But they're not taking people off the street in handcuffs. That's simply wrong. They're not doing that. They're not going into campsites. They're not taking people out of their cars. Unless they fight at the police. Yeah, sure, they're going to get arrested. But that's not what Trump is. Trump is not looking to take people off the street and don't give them another source. All I'm saying is Trump, I would have handled a little different. But maybe Trump has another plan. That's all I'm discussing on this live. He's not doing that. Now it's up to the government representatives in your state and city. Now, guys, if you live in an area with homeless, let us know in a comment. And also, I'll go a little farther. If you have a voice, just call. Good morning. Who am I speaking to? Where's the money going? We know Trump signed an executive order. Voice your opinion if you have time. Take 10 minutes. Do you have a resource? Do you have a building? Are you going to take care of the homeless? I'm wondering. Well, they're going to ask you who you are. Tell them who you are. So I live here. I want to know where our taxpaying money's going. I recommend everybody to do that. Everybody should do that. Next week. I mean, we're taxpayers. We want to know, where it's going. If are they giving them a location? I want to know. Yeah, I hear you, Lemon J. Absolutely, Janine. Simply not true on that comment. Another person. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for disagreements, but there's some comments that just don't make sense, That's funny, Lemon J. Yeah, some of these people are just are hypnotized by the Democrats that are run now, that are trying to run this country. Sal, this is who the Democrats are, though. Yeah, that's the new Democrat, Jim Rat. Uncle Charlie in the house, and Bruce. Thank you for commenting, Uncle Charlie. Hello, Bruce and Uncle Charlie. I know I missed a lot of comments, guys, but I get going. I try to get my point across. If I know I missed a lot of comments today, guys. We had a lot of traffic in here, which was great. It was really good. Tattoos are cool. Whatever you enjoy in life. $100 if you sing a song? No. Can't sing. Somebody says, you're evil, bro. Somebody's calling me evil. Don't even know me. Thank you, Mike. By the way, I'll share a story with you real quick. I shared it with somebody today. Maribel's okay. She had to go to the emergency room yesterday. She is a hairdresser, works hard, and cut tip of her fingers. She thought she needed some stitches. I thought she needed at least one. And the doctor, and she's doing well, and she's working. And the doctor says, you need a tetanus shot. And Maribel thought COVID. She said, no, I don't want no more COVID. He goes, I don't blame you. That's a whole racketeer. Oh, I couldn't believe it. Shout out to the doctor. Shout out to that doctor. It's funny. It was kind of funny. He stopped. He didn't get into it. He stopped himself. And I did too. And I didn't have my Trump cap on. He didn't know I was a Trump supporter. He could have been a Democrat. I don't know. But he's right. He's right. We'll leave it at that. Mike, I'll leave it at that. Absolutely, Lemon J. Do I believe in vaccines? Yes. You said vaccines. The ones that have been proven to work, that have been around for a while, like shingles. All right. He defunded what? This is I'll show you. It's a new cigar. I don't even know what the hell I'm smoking. I go by the wrapper sometimes. I know it's a Dominican cigar. For somebody who asked about cigar. Actually, it's a damn good cigar, actually. I might have to keep this wrapper. Thanks for bringing it up. I appreciate the 119 likes. Thank you so much. We got some donations today. Appreciate it. 100% helps out the homeless. Speaking of homeless. How many times did he file bankruptcy? Who, me? Oh, Trump. A couple times. Socialism, Mike, exactly. Or is that Milkman? Sorry. Milkman. Exactly. All right. So we got some great comments, some disagreements. I'm all for it. Some very good comments, and then some are just little people don't know what the hell to do with themselves. So, crazy. All right, guys, I'm going to end this live. I thank you so much for today's Sunday live. If there's any breaking news we cover, if you're new, we cover any topic that's breaking. Particularly, we fight for homelessness here. We talk what's going on in politics with Trump. We're not afraid to call out Trump on here. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, Trump is better than what we had. We cover the latest craziness that's happening with weather and this, that, whatever. So appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Appreciate all your support. Give a little love to your other YouTube channels when you can. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, moderators. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the Sunday. Until Monday, unless something breaks, let's hope it doesn't break. I will see you great people later on. Thank you all so much for your support. Be kind to some people out in public once in a while. Hold the door open for somebody. Doesn't matter if they're a male or female. I'll see you guys on the next. Love yous all back. Take care, guys. Ciao. Take care.